is just all sorts of insanity breaking out all over the world. In Egypt, in Libya, in Syria, in North Africa, Christians are being mass murdered and just torched and beheaded and raped and killed everywhere. Black Libyans are being hacked up with machetes and machine gunned daily. And it's just back of foreign newspapers because the Peace Prize winner is running it all with NATO. I mean, I have stacks of these articles every day to the point of I don't even get to them. It's like, oh, Coptic Christians under siege as mob attacks Cairo Cathedral, trying to burn it down. London Independent. Israel closes Gaza crossing after rockets fired. Gaza, I mean, it just goes on and on and on until it is not even a news item anymore. It is just not even a news item that all of this craziness is going on. And it's now normal to have the Department of Defense have training manuals for the military that, quote, evangelical Christians and Catholics, period, are extremists, and they put them in a category right next to Al-Qaeda. And it's on Fox News. It's not even a news item. It's just Fox News doesn't become a national story. MSNBC host in a promo ad running says your kids don't belong to you. They belong to the state and the collective. And the only place that cares about it is drudgereport.com. It's on the left-hand side of drudgereport.com. MSNBC host, your kids belong to the collective. And that's why the White House said last week, the Drudge Report is causing us problems. The Drudge Report is causing us problems because we can't control the narrative. I mean, what is there? There's Infowars.com. There's Drudge Report. Beck covers some of this stuff. Limbaugh a little bit. But he won't talk about Republicans that are going along with it, really. I mean, this country, Michael Savage talks about some of this stuff. And of course, they're not perfect. But, I mean, at least they'll say communism's not a good idea. America has lost its moral rudder and compass. And so is the entire Western world, for that matter. And now Katie barred the door. I mean, Katie barred the door. I was driving into work this morning, listening to local AM talk radio, and I heard caller after caller going, Obamacare gives me free health care. Obama cares about me. And the host would say, well, you know, it doubles health care prices this year. It hires 16,000 IRS agents. It was written by the insurance companies. It's a giant scam. It does have death panels, rationing of care. And the people would laugh at him going, yeah, it's a talking point on the Republican Party. No, the Republican Party's bought and paid for at the top by the very same people. It's bought and paid for by the very same people at every level. And Mitt Romney, with the big insurance companies a decade ago or more, wrote what became Obamacare. I mean, heaven help us. It's all about rah, rah, I'm in the winning camp, I'm a Democrat, and my guy's in power. And when a Republican's in power, rah, rah, my guy's in, I'm winning. Meanwhile, foreign special interests are gutting this country up one side and down the other. That's what's going on in this nation. That's what's happening. And America has just gotten in a position of a bunch of TV head, iPod surfing, iPad surfing, people who cannot take action to even save their own future. There is not an initiative in this country. 101 million people don't work in this country of the supposed workforce. Basically, close to half the country doesn't work in this country. And they're now saying, hey, let's enslave the other group and make them serve us. We'll be back with all the big news.
Prepare yourself for a talk radio experience like no other.
Strap yourselves in and hold on.
He stands for truth. He stands for justice. He stands for what's right. This is the Alex Jones Show. Now live from Austin, Texas, here's Alex Jones.
We have a full raft of guests joining us. Dr. Steve Pachenik, who is on the DMZ, will be with us for about 10 minutes at the bottom of the hour with any updates on the North Korea-South Korea crisis that's continuing to basically escalate. And then we've got Dan Bongino, the Secret Service agent on, who's gone public defending the Second Amendment. We've got him popping in on the broadcast. We've got Mike Glenn, who's obviously known as the Stinger, a very famous basketball player, to talk about the real black history and a lot of really interesting things that he's written about in his books and how it ties into modern-day things that are happening. He's also involved with InfoWarsTeam.com, InfoWarsHealth.com. And then I'm going to go into overdrive today with Antonio Buehler, the West Point grad, no criminal record, film police grabbing on women. And so he simply went over to film it, and they got in his face, grabbed on him, and they've now had a grand jury indict him a year later. Why don't they go indict George Washington or the Bill of Rights? How about you indict a newborn baby and cut its spinal cord with a pair of scissors? I mean, that's what they do every hour in this country. Babies that are born out on the table, 9 months old, people begging to adopt it, just kill it. I mean, I say indict all the babies and put them on death row. I mean, if you're going to, again, you got the cops going around with high-def sunglasses, videoing us, government breaking in to our computers, Google breaking into our computers, all of it illegal. But they're trying to put people in prison for life in Illinois who film or tape the police. This is the upside-down world. By the way, I heard that Police Chief Art Aceveda wants to come on the broadcast because I guess he heard me talking about how he should move back to Cuba, where they take the guns from the general citizens. He supposedly fled there as a child with his parents from the tyranny of Cuba, and now he says you shouldn't be able to have a 15-round mag. Shut down the gun shows. And he said in his speech, you either go along with this or you're with the criminals. Hey, Art, crimes dropped 49% because of the proliferation of firearms since 1991, FBI's own numbers. Stop putting out the Southern Poverty Law Center, ADL, Million Mom, 13 bureaucrat march, 14 bureaucrat march. I've been out to these in Austin. Stop sitting there with all your fake bluster. You bet I want you to come in here. Whenever you want this week, come into studio. I can't wait. I can't wait. Come in studio. Came up to Sha'Carri Jackson. They were out there at the 15 bureaucrat and 14 communist march down at the Capitol, demonizing the Second Amendment here in Austin, Texas. And Art Aceveda came over and said that, he wants to come on and confront me. Well, come on. That'll make some good radio, I tell you. And he's a nice guy. He's like, hey, here's my card. I live over here by you. You ought to come over to the house and have a beer sometime. And I'm like, come over and have a beer and drive home? He said, no, of course not. Wait a few hours. Anyways, I like to have a beer. It's just all anthropology, sociology, as he's here trying to calm the natives and get us to turn in our boomsticks and go on the reservation. He's going to pat me on the head. He's definitely a slick one. A Fed, if I've ever seen one. And so we will certainly get him in here. I'm looking forward to that. So let's call his office and tell him, Art wants to come in here now. Bring him in. Bring him in. Bring him in. Speaking of Second Amendment news, Obama to bring some Sandy Hook families on Air Force One. Yeah, to pimp out the dead children some more. Or to bring on people that sit there and look and act like actors. They're sitting there laughing while watching this. 2 seconds later, turn your guns in. I mean, it's like, wow, man, if my kids have been killed like this, I'd be saying, why was Adam Lanza on all these psychotropic drugs, which has now come out. And, of course, it's now come out again. People said last week, oh, it's breaking. He was on 7 psychotropics. Holmes, the supposed Batman shooter. Remember, I shot a video saying I thought they'd pull false flags with triggers in the movie. Then the media asked, why does Alex connect Batman to the last 2 shootings? I connected it before it happened. And it turned out that he was on 7 drugs. That came out early on, but finally it was in the LA Times last week. So now it's official, 7 psychotropic drugs, and then under government psychiatric care with a top Air Force officer. And he was in a DARPA program that was in computer mind interface virtual reality mind control. And then his dad was involved with the big 6 mega banks writing key software. I mean, just talk about the same history. Harrison Kleinbold's parents, both involved with DARPA. Look that up. Man, I tell you, who knows if any of this is even real or true. By the way, Adon Salazar found 2 different people from the Batman shooting that are admitted actors. In fact, some of them are in pretty good-sized movies that were official victims in it. They're in Aurora. And I told him back at the time, I said, don't do that report. We don't need to get off into that because the public just isn't ready for it. But I want him to go dig those up again. I mean, you've got the promo reels, and it's not like people are saying, hey, this guy's an actor, hey, that guy's an actor, hey, this guy looks alike. There's a lot of schizophrenics out there that think, you know, I'm Bill Hicks or whatever, when I'm actually a reptoid. I mean, come on. We all know the truth. But expanding on this, these are people that are admitted actors. And I don't mean just all these wannabe actors. I mean, they're really actors. And they're on the news going, look, I have my pay stub. Yes, I saw it all. One guy acted alone. We need to restrict the Second Amendment. And I mean, they've even had Al-Qaeda out there, you know, with a cut, okay, roll, take 3 on CNN. And the Russians were able to descramble it and put it out where they're literally going, okay, ready, action. Okay, as soon as I say action, start firing the guns. Okay, action. Are you ready, CNN? Oh, okay. You know, amateur actors, amateur CIA guys. We need an actor, Gary. Right out of Team America. Hold on. Okay, I'm ready to go. Yes, we are here in Syria where Assad is hurting the children. And as you can hear, pow, 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 pow. There are dead here. Yes, they are killing us. Help us, America. Help us, America. I mean, we did reports on that a year ago, where they've got all these fake people out there, just like the babies in the incubators in 1990, and just like all the other lies, where they have the daughter of the PR firm come in there and say that Koresh molested him. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, to the point of they say, okay, we're going to burn down Dorner. Get the fire, set the fire, burn him up. I want that cabin burnt down. We have the fire. We have placed the fire. The fire is ignited. We have a fire. All right, good job, team. That does not mean we burn that down. That's a conspiracy theory.
That sounds like the ravings of a fascist.
You guys have got to stop that, please. That is funny. Oh, man. You know what sounds like the ravings of a fascist? Let's cue up this Colorado state rep where they're giving Secret Service the power to engage in police actions against citizens. That's federal police with a state bill, the state being fully federalized, SB 13-013. ATF, of course, has got giant spy databases they're setting up. Army says evangelicals and Catholics, period, are extremists, and put them in a map next to Al-Qaeda. Yeah, there it is. A member of the state legislature, Diane DeGetti, she says that, and we talked about this on last week, but I mean, I just got to play this clip again. She says, hey, we've got to get rid of the magazines, because after you use them, you can only use them once. So, again, a lot of this is just the people that are anti-liberty are dumber than a sack of bricks. I mean, they are dumber than a dead possum that's been dead for 5 days on the side of the road that's got bureaucrats crawling all over it. I mean, these people are as dumb as the day is long. They are stupid. And that's who the globalists get to run for office. Just the dumbest, stupidest morons out there. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to this clip of her saying we got to ban the magazines because then they're no good after you use them once. Here it is.
I do think that we can pass those. And just very briefly, to your last question, what's the efficacy of banning these magazine clips? I will tell you, these are ammunition. They're bullets. So the people who have those now, they're going to shoot them. And so if you ban them in the future, the number of these high-capacity magazines is going to decrease dramatically over time because the bullets will have been shot and there won't be any more available.
The road to hell is paved with useful idiot morons, and this woman wins the Grand Idiot Award. The grand dupe, sucker, schmuck, fool, dumb ass. I have to use that term. It's the only way to describe it. And listen, they got legions of these people. I've had a carpet cleaner in my house, saw a gun case, and started to call the police. And I had to call their manager and say, stop them, they're mentally ill. I mean, that's America, ladies and gentlemen. Dumber than a box of rocks, thinking Obama's going to give them free health care. And you want to talk about the ravings of a control freak authoritarian, the ravings of a fascist. This story's up on drudgereport.com. MSNBC host, 4 kids belong to the collective. It's on the left-hand side of drudgereport.com. It's an Infowars.com story, but it scrolled off. It's from yesterday. I'm going to get it posted back up on Infowars.com, where she says, your kids belong to us. And this is an MSNBC promo video. They're not going to stop, okay? They're going to raise your taxes till you live in a 200-square-foot coffin box with government pedos in there teaching your kids, like Jocelyn Elders said, how to masturbate. That's who these people are.
I'm Darren McBreen, and these are some of the new items that are available now at InfoWarsShop.com.
Alert the public to Obama's blatant abuse of power with the new Obama t-shirt. Obama's Joker face on the front and come and take it on the back. It's time to publicly call him out for what he is, a tyrant. Defend the Second Amendment with our top seller Come and Take It t-shirts. And look at that, women's cut tank tops and t-shirts now available. Nice hat. Plus the Don't Tread on Me flag. And now you can become a micro distributor of the InfoWars magazine. Plus, get your own copy delivered right to your door each and every month. And if you're tired like I am of you and your family being exposed to polluted drinking water, get the Pro One high performance water filter. It gets rid of all pathogenic bacteria, cyst, fluoride, heavy metals, and numerous other contaminants.
So join the revolution at InfoWarsShop.com.
But here's the headline, MSNBC host, your kids belong to the collective. And there she is with this arrogant, lisping, crazed look in her eye. These are dominators. These are people that can't build anything. So they see their empires building as they take you over. These are slave masters who want to be able to, like the UN has pushed and Jocelyn Elders, quote, reach down and show the kids how to do it. And you're like, that's outrageous. Well, why are they so outrageous? Because it's about breaking you. It's about Stockholm Syndrome. It's about going for it all and then going for it all again and going, they're like hopping around demons. People that hate you having a nice family, hate your swimming pool, hate your wealth. That's all they talk about. Disgusting America with all its wealth and people that have things. I mean, you hear it. Meanwhile, they're in helicopters and jets and giant government buildings. They hate you. They have an instinct towards total domination. They have an instinct that if you gain something, they're losing something because they're predators. These people are total and complete predators. The reason I'm bringing up Jocelyn Elders is I was talking about how the state controls your kids, and one of the IT guys that was up here last night, he goes, remember Jocelyn Elders? Going, reach down and help the kindergartners. That voice, reach down and help them. I mean, it's just like, what? Is there no end to you people? And now we've got Melissa Harris Perry engaged in total neuro-linguistic programming. People always asking me, do you know about this? You know about that? So I went and studied it. And it's a quack science they use that I guess only works on people that are unconscious. And they'll say something that they know is what people agree with. Your children belong to you, to trigger synapses in the brain. They go, that's right, they do. They're mine. You know, normal mammalian response. but actually we need to strengthen public education. We haven't supported it, which is a lie. More funding to communist education, government re-education camps than any other nation in the history of the world, meant to take over society in their own documents that Charlotte Iserby details in her book, Deliberate Dumbing Down. So first she says something that's true to get you, then she gives you a lie. It's all scripted off a teleprompter. Official MSNBC ad. Your kids belong to you, and they're your responsibility. And then, by the way, we haven't been supportive of public education. But now that's all over because your kids belong to the whole community, and she sells it like, oh, we're going to take a weight off you. Let your kids stay till 8 at night at the public school like they're now pushing. Let's have over the summer. You know what? All the time. The whole thing is a psych warfare event with a crazed nobody that goes to Delphi Technique and Rand Corporation events. They're all funded by this. It's on record. You can look it up. All these federal bureaucrats at that level. That's a federal agent you're looking at right there. MSNBC is a globalist propaganda command base raining down racial and cultural division with the government as the unifier. The Roman model of balkanize everybody and then it bundles the sticks together. True fascism is the sticks bundled together, tied together. The fasci. That's what fascism comes from. Break us into pieces so we're not strong, and then the state ties us together with hatchets above it, the sword, the weapon, the gun. You don't have a gun. The state has the gun. These are naked, conscious authoritarians running around with their tongues hanging out like wild wolves. And you're in such a trance, people are like, the government loves me. Obama wants to give me something free. Obama is CIA raised from birth, Ford Foundation, Rockefeller Foundation, literal Manchurian candidate of the New World Order to bring in hell and death. Ladies and gentlemen, he rides the white horse of pestilence and death.
Jakari Jackson here, and I want to talk to you for a second about water. You know about ProPure, our flagship water purification system, but check out some of our portable water filter products at InfoWarsStore.com. The clearly filtered water pitcher. Also, for those of you on the go, we have the Athlete Edition filtered water bottle and the RAD Eliminator Pro filtered sports bottle that removes radiation. And keep in mind, we have replacement filters for all of these products. The ever-popular grab-and-go bag favorite, the Life Straw, the Crystal Quest shower filter system, and the Aquapod kit, great for mass storage of water. And while you're at the InfoWars shop, pick up a copy of our latest book, 31 Days to Survival. You can find all this and more at the InfoWarsStore.com. And don't forget, it's your support that funds our operation. Sign up for our free newsletter at InfoWars.com/newsletter.
And we, of course, are back weeknights, 7 o'clock with InfoWars Nightly News. I'm just going to get a 10-minute update from Dr. Steve Pachinik here, and then I'm going to get back into all the world news and the incredible attacks that are accelerating on the First Amendment, you name it. The ATF on the federal website has put out the bid for data mining to spy illegally on all gun owners and your web activity. Google, the NSA front, is breaking into all the computers with its Google cars and other systems with passcodes, stealing your data for the NSA and the foreign 6 banks that run it. I mean, it is just wall-to-wall criminal activity. There are tens of thousands of private intelligence groups now that have been given full national security access to everything. So understand, it's not just Nixon spying on you with your IRS records, and he was going to go to jail for that until he stepped down. Now, thousands and thousands, including quasi-foreign mercenary groups, are given above top secret clearances to listen to your phones, get in your computers, your bank accounts, and they put it on the news. Oh, intelligence agencies look at your bank account every day. Intelligence agencies listen to you. Private contractors. I mean, it is just the age of the criminal. Every criminal on earth turned loose, the government recruiting them to absolutely implode and rob everyone. This is like the French Revolution, the Jacobins, the opposite of our revolution. This is an Illuminati, crazy person orgy. We're seeing a wall-to-wall orgy with the TSA, their vanguard, openly training us to be groped, to have our families groped for prisoner training. And they're buying billions of bullets and armored vehicles and setting up checkpoints all over the place and putting the military on the street. I mean, they are just running wild. And their main drive is destroying the family, destroying men and women, destroying normalcy. This is a group of mentally ill deviants. What do you think the Nazis were? A bunch of deviants. What do you think the communists were? A bunch of deviants. I mean, have you read about Hitler, Mao Zedong, Stalin, Lenin? These are their own writings, the stuff they were into. Ultimate weirdos who don't like those of us that just want to go home to our wife and kids and be normal, that never get tired of a steak, never get tired of fishing, never get tired of a sunset, never get tired of our wives, of our husbands. We are anathema to them. They like burning cities, starving children, black uniforms, hell on earth. And I, for one, have had enough of it. I've had enough of it. And it's time for the strong and the decent and the normal to rise up and to call out the enemy and call it out for what it is. They are on mainstream news. I have the Fox News. And Fox News is like, is this good? And they're like, well, maybe. All Catholics and all evangelical Christians listed in a file, let's show people, as being with Al-Qaeda. It shows their names, and they teach the military that's extremism. Army labeled evangelicals as religious extremists. Let's scroll down. And it actually shows the document. If you click on it, if you're watching on TV at prisonplanet.tv, right next to it, you can actually just blow it up then. Just blow it up there on the screen for everybody. You can just go back to the actual page and just blow it up on that screen like I did yesterday. And then it's right side up. It's just incredible. This is a psychological warfare tactic where they're totally beyond gaslighting everyone. They are just creating total learned helplessness and a mass Stockholm Syndrome effect using normalcy bias. And they are on purpose frying everyone's brains right now with MSNBC officially in promos saying the state runs your children, the collective is here, we're taking your guns, and they've got their talking point minions calling into talk radio going, there are no bullets, there are no drones, there are no checkpoints, there is no TSA, the health care is all free, everything is wonderful, and you hear them giggling and snickering, saying to the host, I heard it this morning, calling in a group, the host didn't even know what was happening as I was driving into work on 590, going, that's just in your chain emails. None of this is happening. None of this is happening. As if we're so weak-minded, they sit there and tell us this isn't happening. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.